Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and I was always told how to voice a radio. So today, we've got another Titan Master to talk about. Not only do we have another Titan Master to talk about, but the lovely Ken Nagel has gone and published an article in which he explains more about them, and I can apologise for something that I got wrong during yesterday's video. Cool. So who do we have today? We've got Twin Twist, a character with whom I am not particularly familiar, if I'm honest with you. But we have a 9-star body. Now remember, and this was made clear in the article, you cannot play a body, you have to play a body and a head. You can't just play a body, that's pretty obvious. Cool. So, we'll have a look at Flameout in a minute. Don't worry, we've got time. So, Twin Twist here then. We've got a 9-star character with attack of 4 or 5, health of 12, defense of 2, which is not bad stat-wise. Not bad at all. Again, the Wave 1 benchmark I always use is 8 stars, 4, 12, 2. So we got up to 9 stars, but we got an attack of 5 in one mode, and the stats have been a bit lower since Wave 1, so this all makes sense to me. This is quite nice. We have a Wrecker, who is a melee character, and in alt mode is also a tank. So we've got a lovely new Autobot tank. We'll have a chat about that later on. Now, in alt mode, when you flip to this mode, this gets pierce free until end of turn. Now, what is important to note is that pierce free guarantees free damage as long as your attack is 3 or more, and you got an attack of 4, so you're fine. Pierce guarantees that you will do an amount of damage equal to your attack or the pierce, whichever is lower. So you're guaranteeing this here. I mean, this is basically like having a free piercing blaster, which sounds quite good to me. Also worth noting that this is a Wrecker, and Cup that we saw yesterday is also a Wrecker, but we know we're getting Wreckers in this set. We were told that quite explicitly, so maybe not terribly surprising. So that's the alt mode skill. It's looking pretty good. What is the bot mode skill? Or the body mode skill, I should say. When you flip to this mode, your opponent chooses one of their characters and does 1 damage to it. If you flip to this character at least 2 times this turn, instead do 1 damage to each enemy. So doing 1 damage to one character it's fine. Except your opponent chooses, so we're not really talking zap here, where you get to direct the damage, your opponent gets the choice. And then of course, if they're playing a character like Ironhide, for instance, who cannot take non-attack damage, then your opponent can just go, I'm gonna choose to put the damage on Ironhide. There we go. Now I don't take any damage, which would be quite upsetting. But far better is if you flipped it more than once, you get to do 1 damage to each enemy character. Now, the goal here really is be in body mode, flip to alt mode, then back to body mode in the same turn. And we've got a bunch of ways to do this. Obviously, back in Wave 1, we just had rapid conversion. Lets you flip a character to another mode. It's got a white icon letting you flip 2 more cards when attacking or defending. It's a nice little option. It's something we can do. Now, we do obviously have the escape route card, which has a white and a green icon. Now, it only goes bot mode to alt mode, but that's fine here, because what you really want to do is use escape route to go from bot to alt, and then use your flip for the turn to go back into bot. And having a green icon means you can guarantee to draw it, because either you draw into it, or you flip it while attacking or defending, and then you swap it with a card in your hand at the end of the battle. So escape route here is a really very good option indeed. So we have options, and these are the kind of things I'm thinking of we really want to be doing here. It's going quite nicely. Now, of course, the downside is when we're going for really pulling the cheeky damage out, we're looking for range characters, so that we can play marksmanship to drop 2 damage, so that we can attach an armed hovercraft to put 1 damage counter on each of our opponent's characters. And that's not happening here. This would be a better skill on a range character. It's still extra damage, it's still helping out greatly, but let's be clear, it'd be better on a ranged character. So just play it with a ranged character. find another ranged character and play it with them. So that's Twin Twist. It's looking kind of nice. Obviously, it's a melee character, so that opens up Power Sword and Body Armor. Those really powerful upgrades that give you bold or tough in fairly heavy measure. Or maybe you go Wedge Formation to give yourself a little bit of healing. That could be fun. Although if you've got a ranged character, you draw a card, and the specialist, you plan one, so it's not just for the melee. And you're a tank. Now, I talked about flipping earlier. Yeah, the fact that it's a tank actually helps out massively here because you can take advantage of Hunker Down. Hunker Down says that you may flip each of your characters from bot mode to tank mode, and then for each of your tanks that isn't upgraded with an armor, put an armor on it from the scrap pile. Now, I love using this to recover Force Field and just give yourself a whole bunch of survivability. Force Field guarantees you won't take more than 4 damage. That's quite nice. But it means that you've got an extra flip. And it means that you've got an extra flipping card that also goes and recovers an armor. So it's not just, hey, look, I've got an extra flip. It's I've got an extra flip, that's going to help me with my skill to spread damage. Oh yeah, and I'm also recovering armor. That sounds like fun. But we've got more than just a body here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a new head. Flameout. Now, we'll look at the bot mode in a moment, but looking at the head mode here, it is a free cost card that gives you bold 2. Now, we have had some things confirmed about this. Firstly, and this should be fairly obvious, you add up the star counts here. That means that if you play Flameout and Twin Twist as a whole, you're looking at a 12-star character, but you're looking at a 12-star character with bold 2 and Pierce 3 that does cheeky damage. Sounds alright to me. I can totally get on board with that. The other thing is, and this is what I said wrongly in the video yesterday, my apologies, let me correct it now. You start off in alt mode with the head attached, and the head gives you bold 2 regardless of which mode you're in. If you're in alt mode, you get bold 2. If you're in body mode, you get bold 2. Thematically, this weirds me out a little bit because I'm just thinking of like a head stuck to a tank giving you bold 2. It's weird, but it makes the card better, so I'm okay with that. I was a little bit nervous about having this head card that only gives a boost to you in one mode, but we're good, ladies and gentlemen. We are good. It is also worth noting that you can mix and match any head and any body, like I told you in yesterday's video, and it is also worth pointing out that you have to play a head and a body together. You cannot play a body without a head. You cannot play a head without a body. Again, fairly obvious, but there we go. Now, this does have some implications, of course. So if you wanted to play a card like I Still Function to recover a character from your KO area, just for one turn, you wouldn't be able to. There is no character to get back. You cannot just get back a head. You cannot just get back a body, and I Still Function will not get back a body and a head at the same time. So cards like that interact with your characters in the KO area just don't work. It ain't coming back. A little bit sad. So bold 2 is really good. Bold 2 isn't phenomenal. Bold 2 is fine. I mean, the example we saw in yesterday's video was Flintlock, who gave you tough 3 for 4 stars. I'm kind of liking that more. I'm kind of liking tough 3 for 4 stars more than I'm liking bold 2 for 3 stars. But the great thing about this Titan Masters mechanic is go for it. If you want to get the tough, play Flintlock. If you want to get the bold, play Flameout. You are not limited by anything other than you must play a body and a head, and you must stay within the 25-star limit of team building. And that is awesome. Now, Flameout in bot mode, I mean, look, it's a 3-star character. We're expecting weak. We get weak. 2 attack, 2 health, 1 defense. That is bad. Like, really bad. This also... Now, here's the thing, right? I have long looked at characters like Slammer and gone, yeah, but if anyone's actually playing Bolt of Lightning, they can just get a KO by dropping that 1 action card. And that's a problem. This goes a step further. By having only 2 health, your opponent doesn't need to be playing Bolt of Lightning, which incidentally is a star card and therefore not played all that often. No! Plasma Burst! An actual, factual Plasma Burst will get a KO here. Or if your opponent's playing a character like Thundercracker that gets to do 2 damage, that'll get a KO. Bad news, Thundercracker only does 2 damage to a melee enemy. Good news, Flameout is a melee enemy. This is weak. Now the good news is you've got Bold 2, so the theory here is very simple. Load up. Because if you've got 2 attack, but you've got Bold 2 and then you whack a Power Sword on, so you've actually got Bold 5, okay, fine, you've got 2 attack, but you're flipping 7 battle cards, 9 if you hit a white icon in the first 7. Yeah. You ain't lasting more than 2 minutes. This isn't going to last very long. But to give you 1 more attack, go for it. And 1 more attack is what these heads give you. When you're combined, I shouldn't use the word combined, should I? When your Titan Master is KO'd, the body goes to the KO area, but the head is deployed as a character. This is the only way to get the character. The character only comes out when the Titan Master is KO'd, the body goes away, the head turns into a character. You can't just play the character. Character has to start off in head mode. Well, you get 1 more shout. It's your opponent's turn, they attack, they take out the Titan Master. Once they've taken out the Titan Master, Flameout comes out, you get 1 more attack. So actually, if you're getting a super weak character that is coming out for 1 last attack to try and win the game before your opponent takes out the extremely weak character, why not have 1 with Bold 2 and melee to give you those extra advantages? I prefer having Tough 3 to Bold 2 because I think I'm getting better value. But if I'm playing a deck and I just want 1 last big attack, Flameout looks like a really, really good option. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Fun times ahead. We've seen a new Titan Master. We've now got 2 to have a gander at. And now, I think it's time for you to tell me what you think about these. So, there's a comment section. Maybe you go nuts. Maybe you be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk Transformers, Keyforge, really any games that take our fancy. And do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all that good stuff. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.